So this week on Nostalgic Friday, I'm going to be talking about how I got back into the Nicktoons fandom. So I figured since I already did a video about my pony collection, why the heck, well, talk about, my, how I got back into the Nicktoons fandom. So, yeah. Now, I first discovered Nickelodeon at the age of 2. I watched both, Nickelodeon and Nick Jr. In fact, the very first Nickelodeon show, or maybe technically Nick Jr., because it's from the Nick Jr. block, was Blue's Clues. And I did do a video about it. In fact, if you want to go check it out. But yeah, so anyway, now of course, pretty much, well, I grew up with all the best Nicktoons you could think of. I mean, come on, and one of them, is, I got them on my shirt right now. So yeah. So basically, it all started, when one day I looked up cartoon crossovers. And I saw, this photo of Timmy Turner with Cosmo and Wanda, and with two of Butch Hartman's other creations, Danny Phantom and Dougly Puppy from the show Tough Puppy. I'm like, And I think this picture was supposed to be a joke about how, Fairly Odd Parents had been on longer because it was still going on around the time I saw the photo. I saw the picture, and basically how Danny and Dougly hadn't lasted long, they were canceled, so abruptly. So yeah, and that immediately led me to looking into more Fairly Odd Parents stuff, and immediately I was fascinated to see Danny Phantom again. I'm like, oh my god, I have not seen Danny Phantom in years, and I tell you, I love that show growing up. It was such an amazing thing. I was literally one of those little 5-year-old girls who just looked up to Danny, because I thought he was cool, and I still think he is. So yeah. So afterwards, I ended up stumbling across the Nicktoons games, which were, the Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island, Nicktoons Unite, Globs of Doom and the Toy Bots, and those were actually the order of how I saw the games. I stumbled upon Volcano Island first, and then, Nicktoons Unite. Now, pretty much, I decided to take a look, for myself, because I wasn't aware of these games existing back then. Except maybe Globs of Doom, because I remember, there being commercials for that one. Back in, I think 2007 would have been the year where Danny Phantom, was no longer, I guess, would stop airing, and I guess had already moved to Nicktoons Network at that point, because pretty much I stopped watching the show afterwards, and, just continued on with whatever the heck Nickelodeon had on the TV. Nowadays, Barnyard, and I don't know, any other type of random stuff. And of course, they continue to, play SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents and a lot of other things. But yeah. So of course, as soon as I saw the game, I was immediately, when I started watching a playthrough of Battle for Volcano Island, I was immediately amazed. I was not only happy to see Danny again, but SpongeBob. In fact, throughout the whole entire game, I was so happy to see him and, Danny and SpongeBob get more screen time. Because when I was younger, whenever I even watched SpongeBob, I often imagined Danny was there. Yeah, you could say I had a thing for crossovers even before I knew they existed. But yeah, so these cartoons, so yeah, it was just cool. I mean, because I always wondered what those two, how well those two would get along. Because I thought they'd be perfect friends. And boy, was I right. And to this day, I consider them to be my favorite Nicktoons ship, or friendship, crossover friendship. So yeah. So afterwards, I decided to, after watching the Battle for Volcano Island playthrough, I decided to watch the, Nicktoons Unite playthrough. And let me tell you, I was absolutely happy because it was so cool to not only see, SpongeBob and Danny together, but Timmy and Jimmy, and let me tell you, I swear, the 5-year-old in me was screaming because I watched all 4 characters that were mentioned in this game who, you know, who worked together in this game. I watched all of them. Like, oh my god, like, I tell you, this was a childhood come true. Although, I have to ask, though. Now, Steven Hillenburg, when he was alive, he said that SpongeBob would never want to be in any crossovers. Even though he was in Nicktoons Unite and all those other Nicktoons games. How is he okay with that? I mean, how? Like, did it just take some convincing? Like, hey, you know, your cartoon SpongeBob is, you know, one of the most popular on Nick right now. We want to cross over with these cartoons. No, I'm not allowing it. Please, we'll pay you enough. Fine, do it. Knock yourself out. Yeah, I know. But yeah. So then afterwards, later on, I ended up buying, you know, Nicktoons merchandise and reading fan fiction and other stuff. And I don't know, I just right away fell in love with the fandom and decided to also go back and watch Danny Phantom again because it was such a good show. You know, like, I mean, a show I can finally look back on and relive. So, yeah, I mean, for reals. And also, it's already 2022. When are we gonna get the release date for the Danny Phantom graphic novel that's supposed to be coming this spring? But yeah, I will say it was so great. I mean, I bought all like the merchandise and, you know, a lot of other things like for reals. And well, pretty much that's basically how I got back into the Nicktoons fandom. So yeah. So I guess that's all I gotta say for now. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.